I ain't gonna touch you till August 26th. I'll throw you in your motherfucking neck.
I might not do the same.
I knock you the fuck out.
Might not do the same.
I knock you the fuck out.
I'm gonna just throw you
I knock you the fuck out, punk.
Boxing press events are usually as stuffy and civilized as two suited diplomats shaking hands at a policy summit. But when world-class fighters known for violence, ego, and chaos meet face-to-face with grudges, swaggering confidence, and millions on the line, well then, those conferences transform into explosive, powder keg events that erupt into pulsating mayhem. Fighter 411 will reveal the 8 most outrageously shocking and memorable frenzied melees that spontaneously detonated at press events. Get your popcorn and buckle up, because we're counting down 8 of the most insane press conference catastrophes, where civility went out the window, alongside wars of words, devolving into literal fistfights and all-out brawls breaking out. Hit that subscribe button to be notified for more Fighter 411 content, just like this, and keep watching to the end, because you don't want to miss the #1 brawl on this list. The foul language will be foul. The violent scenes will be violent. If you're easily offended, stop watching now. For the rest of you, get ready for a wild ride. Let's dive straight into this list. Number 8. Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. Never before had a pressure cooker press conference exploded into such relentless insanity as the meeting of red-hot megastars with flaming egos finally clashing. They traded deafening verbal tirades and hurled vicious obscenities for 30 straight minutes, cementing their legendary ignominy before all hell broke loose. The Megafight's 3-city press tour was a profanity-filled firestorm of insanity rivaling a hybrid combination of WWE events, Comedy Central roasts, and the Jerry Springer Show. McGregor relentlessly slayed Mayweather with razor-sharp verbal assaults and viciously mocking everything from his age, height, style, and alleged illiteracy, while fans roared deafeningly. After numerous scuffles between the two camps, they simultaneously withdrew on their own accord, while their stunned entourages looked on in disbelief, cementing their legendary, unprecedented press conference pandemonium into boxing and sports immortality. Number 7. Dylan White versus Derek Chisora.
I never said it was gonna go. Look me in my eyes, and then if you think I'm a punk, you tell me right now.
Bitter heavyweight rivals Dylan the Body Snatcher White and Del Boy Derek Chisora have had exchanges of words before. But the bad blood between these British bombers unexpectedly exploded verbally at a face-to-face sit-down between both fighters. It got heated when Chisora flew some kind of liquid all over White's clothing, which resulted in a separation of the two by security. But it was during the final press conference before the highly anticipated grudge match where words turned into actions. And once again, heated conversation turned into tables flying by an ill-tempered Chisora.
Because listen, I am the baddest man.
As he was escorted by security before any fighter could get any closer to each other. Number 6. Riddick Bowe versus Larry Donald.
How you figure that? What? How you figure that?
The man feared as Big Daddy Bowie looked anything but fatherly when he clashed violently with Larry the Legend Donald at a 2008 press conference gone wrong. An agitated Bowie simply could not stomach Donald's vicious verbal remarks. Donald's words apparently hit a nerve. While standing side to side together at the presser, it seemed as though just an exchange of words would ensue. But in the blink of an eye, both fighters were all of a sudden squared up as Bowie threw 2 vicious clean shots at Donald's unprotected face. Security separated the two, but not before Bowie's shots were landed and opened a cut above Donald's eye. Number 5. Bernard Hopkins versus Ronald Winky Wright.
the verbal confrontation between the two fighters and the stare down after they had weighed in, and as Golden Boy matchmaker Eric Gomez watched between the two of them, Hopkins put his right hand.
Tensions were already seething between middleweight champion Bernard the Executioner Hopkins and former title holder Ronald Winky Wright, heading into their proposed pay-per-view showdown. Seconds after both fighters had weighed in and before either fighter could completely dress themselves for a proper stare down, Hopkins and Wright were at it. Each fight camp gathered around and performed a large scrum-like crowd around both fighters as shots and expletives were thrown. Sensing impending violence, security rushed between the fired-up fighters. Unfortunately, their intervention only ignited chaos. Number 4. Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier.
Sit down, Joe. Why you think I'm eating? Sit down, Joe. Huh? Sit down quick. Why you think I'm eating? The brothers are here. Doing this too? No. Sit down quick, Joe.
The tension built up during a TV show interview. Both fighters had agreed to commentate on their first fight together, round by round. But as the fight went on, signs of the ongoing rivalry began to show, as remarks and criticism were spoken. Frazier seemed to have heard enough at some point, when he stood up and security immediately came to both fighters' side. Ali must have sensed a threat as he grabbed Frazier's head. Ali was then pushed back off the stage by Joe, and it seemed as though the two boxers turned into pro wrestlers for a moment. The most iconic rivals in history nearly grappled for a moment before security separated the two. Number 3. Lennox Lewis versus Hasim Rahman.
Say what I want to say to you. What you mean? I just said it. What you want me to say? Say what you want me to say. Same thing like what? Like what? Come on.
The explosive bad blood between heavyweight champions Lennox Lewis and Hasim Rahman was supposed to be settled in the ring. But these bitter arch rivals couldn't wait that long. Sparks flew at the final press conference as a routine face-off suddenly erupted into mayhem. A suited Lewis and casually dressed Rahman stood toe-to-toe, hurling menacing threats just inches apart. But a slight shove by Lennox Lewis was enough to spark action from Rahman. An intense scuffle spilled off stage as the sworn enemies wrestled and turned over the show furniture. Over a dozen security guards desperately struggled to pry apart the two behemoths. Number 2. Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant.
Live on Showtime pay-per-view. Don't get paid. No, it's okay.
Fireworks exploded at the first face-off between undisputed super middleweight king Canelo Alvarez and unbeaten IBF champion Caleb Sweet Hands Plant. The red-hot rivals nearly came to blows when an explosive shoving match broke out on stage. Tensions were already nuclear heading into their championship collision. Brash American Plant talked relentless trash, enraging the Mexican superstar. Plant got directly in Alvarez's grill, sparking the volatile superstar to aggressively shove Plant backwards. Like a viper, Plant immediately pounced forward, throwing a wild left hook. Canelo avoided the shot, but returned a slap to Plant's face. The riled-up fighter exchanges were short-lived as they were broken up. We're finally here, Fighter 411 fam. Our number 1 boxing press conference brawl. Are you ready? Before we get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to get notified for more Fighter 411 content. Number 1. Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. The mega-hyped rivals nearly clashed like bull moose in rutting season at the introductory presser. As Tyson stood awaiting the introduction of his opponent, he already seemed eager to pounce once his eyes were set on Lennox Lewis as he entered the lighted stage. Tyson aggressively confronted Lewis, and security immediately were upon the two fighters. The actions of the paid security seemed to only anger Tyson, as the first blows thrown were directed to the security rather than his opponent. Tyson wildly thrashed like a caged animal to attack Lennox on stage, confirming boxing's most fearsome fighter was no pretender. Lennox returned a few blows, but both fighters ended up in a moving crowd, made up of several personnel trying to separate the two thrashing fighters. But it wasn't just the brawl between the two fighters that would make this event so memorable. Directly after the two were broken up, an exchange of words between Tyson and a reporter would become one of the most iconic moments in Mike Tyson's legacy. There are still lingering scars and resentment today from these 8 outrageous press conference melees that became epic showdowns etched into boxing lore. Their volatility, animosity, and brazen behavior resulted in chaotic free shows that left audiences stunned and forever captivated. Are there any other notable press conference brawls that did not make the cut in this countdown? Comment them below, and maybe Fighter 411 will revisit this in the near future. And smash that like button if you'd like to see another video like this. But for now, that's the 411.